Hello and welcome to the Higher Lows podcast, a Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition actual plays podcast set in the world of Taraz. I'm Philip Martin, your dungeon master, and with me is Daniel Fletcher.
I've returned from the bowels of hell.
It's definitely good to have you back after a couple of sessions. Meeraiya.
Evening.
Next up we've got Mimbo Wang.
Here as always.
Fourth, we've got Lizzie McPherson.
Hey, lovelies.
And coming in last tonight is Laurie Crawford.
Can we stick Fletch back down there?
Maybe next week, depends. Previously on the High or Lows podcast, the crew had recently discovered a secret, seemingly functional smithy guarded by another 2 suits of animated armor, which they easily dispatched. They began searching this room and found some tools among the workshop and continued ahead to discover some sort of training or weapons testing area. As they ventured into the second part of this room, they noticed a third unmoving figure, which they avoided for a time due to their experiences with all the other armored constructs that attacked them. After realizing that it was not quite acting in the same way, they eventually approached and realized it was some sort of training dummy as it went to attack the approaching Callum, I think it was. Another area, it seemed, in this room was revealed a hidden pressure plate trap, but after a bit of more further investigation, it actually appeared to be more of a weapons testing area, testing some sort of defense against ranged attacks. Against one wall, they found a great axe composed of some strong metal and a heavy crossbow, which were both mounted on that wall. And then they noticed a door to the south, which seemed to be some sort of office, and after exploring the rest of the room, their attention was drawn towards that. Upon opening the door, a somewhat confused dwarven ghost by the name of Jerkin Steelcoat appeared and ordered the group to complete the construction of weapons, which was needed for some kind of upcoming attack by the goblins. So they stepped into action to complete this order after being promised some kind of reward. It was all a bit vague. And then we did a skill challenge, and the group performed various skills and whatnot to complete this order. And then they were rewarded with a nice suit of splint mail and a magical shield. And I believe this is basically where we'll begin, with the group pondering the next move. But first, let's actually jump over to Tweek. Now, Tweek, canonically, I had to make a call since you weren't here, and basically you've run off to go back to the wizard's room or whatever, where the stone chest, just to explore that rubble a bit. And now I want you to make an investigation check with advantage, because you have Candle helping.
8 plus... Yeah, 6, okay. So 14.
Okay, that's with advantage. You have Candle helping.
Oh, yes. Natural 20. Thank you, Candle.
Natural 20?
God damn it. You get
Okay.
them straight away whenever.
Okay, maybe I should stop setting up Tweek for special things, but whatever, it's done. Natural 20 it is. So what you discover is, you start going into these bricks, and you just noticed, you felt something weird about the explosion and the bricks, and you thought, the explosion came from somewhere. So you've started going through a few bricks, and you noticed a couple were a little bit odd, and you found one, and it looked hollow. And you've knocked on it, and you figured out how to open this hollow brick, which is sort of slit open on the side, and inside is some sort of paper, some sort of scroll.
Scroll, hey?
Now, you found one of these, and then you've gotten to work with Candle, and you've gone ahead, and with a nat 20, you found 3 more of these, for a total of 3 hollow bricks filled with scrolls. I was going to give a second investigation check to figure out how to open them, but with your nat 20, it just feels like a waste of time. And that's cool, you should be rewarded for a nat 20. You've also discovered that underneath all this pile of bricks, and other rubble, dirt, and other stone, there is actually, behind it, you notice there is a staircase leading downwards.
Behind the hollow bricks?
So there's a lot of bricks here, a lot of broken bricks and shattered bricks. You did find these 4 hollow bricks among the wreckage, and it's mostly just broken glass. and stuff, and dirt and bits of stone. But you did find these 4 hollow bricks filled with which have some sort of scroll inside them.
Will I unravel the scroll?
Yeah, you pull them out of the brick and unravel it.
Yes.
It does appear to be some sort of magical spell. So you have 4 of these.
These could come in handy. And I don't know what spells they are.
You would need to make checks for each one, I imagine. Give me an Arcana check.
9
Total?
total.
You don't recognize the first spell. Give me 3 more for the other 3 spells, for the other 3 scrolls.
15. 25. And a natural 20, so 26.
Okay.
15, 25, 26.
You don't recognize it. So what languages do you speak?
I can speak Common, Gnomish, and Goblin.
Goblin. Okay, so you think these aren't really, the incantations aren't really written in a language you can read, but you're pretty sure that just based on the symbols used, that the spells are, one is knock, one is non-detection, and one is fabricate.
I found some interesting scrolls that I could make use of.
Yeah, so the moment you're still just in the room with Candle, just going through these scrolls, and you've also noticed that, yes, there is a staircase underneath all this rubble, like going downwards.
I'll investigate the staircase.
So with the nat 20, you've already sort of investigated. It will take a long time to clear all this rubble. So the staircase is sort of leading down and away from the room, and it's just filled with broken dirt, bricks. It would just take a lot of time to clear. And that.
If I only had my Giznat automatron. It's still kind of out of action.
Even with Giznat, you think it would take you and Giznat working full time, it would still take you longer than a day, and that would be with Giznat doing nothing else for over 24 hours. You think it was just you, 3 days? If it was just Giznat working non-stop, probably 2 days.
Are there any cracks that a little cockroach could go and investigate?
There is, but Giznat can't do anything like really much to help you, I don't think. You could try to ask him, but like, you guys have seen some stuff down here. He doesn't have to go.
Okay. I don't want Giznat getting into any hot water without me being next to him. I better regroup with the others and let them know that this is an option.
Yeah, so if you want to head back to the group, and you're going to take the scrolls with you, but are you going to take them in the bricks, or are you just going to take the scrolls?
Take them in the bricks.
Bricks are still heavy. They still weigh a good half a pound, but they are hollow.
The hollow bricks. I suppose I could use them. Yes, I'll take the 4 hollow bricks with the knock spell, the fabricate spell, and the
non-detection
spell.
They're a bit random. I don't know. You can ponder why someone might have put these scrolls together. And this other 4th unidentified scroll. Okay, so as you're going back to reconvene with the group, so you go down south, and then you go past the crossroads. Give me a perception check.
That would be 4.
Hey, you're going along, and you definitely don't hear this. But Candace says, "Wait, I can hear something." from where we started. There's something there. Maybe better keep moving. Kind of want to go have a look.
You sure we want to go have a look by ourselves?
Mm, we better get back. Go.
Yes, let's get back to the others just in case it's something very nasty. Oh, but now
Okay.
my curiosity is taking over.
Might just be that carrion crawler. Maybe. Hopefully. Alright, let's move.
You've still got my automatron, haven't you?
Yeah, he's got it. He's carrying it. Okay. So you guys basically go along and you regroup with the rest of the group. And it's basically the same amount of time has passed for simplicity purposes. And you guys have completed the order of all those weapons for Jerk and Steelcoat and have your rewards.
So where in the hells is that Tweek gone missing to anyway?
Probably lost his cockroach or something.
Yeah, that thing's not gonna make it. And I don't know which thing I'm talking about. Giznat or the Defender.
Tweek, basically, as you get back to the large meeting room, you basically see a new tunnel and a light coming from there on the southern wall and the east on the western side.
And I also left a note for him.
I approach stealthily.
Okay, roll stealth.
10.
Okay. Yeah, you reconvene with the group.
Ah, you decide to grace us with your your good self. Tweek, how are you? Where did you go?
Well, I had a good hunch. There could be something we're missing in that previous room that could help us, and, well, without my spell slots, I don't think I would have been much use in those battles.
No, we only fought a couple animated armor. They went down pretty quickly.
Though I do wish you were here 10 minutes ago.
Why? What
Indeed.
happened 10 minutes ago?
Oh, you would have loved it.
Essentially, we were tasked to do a lot of blacksmithing kind of stuff, and I think that's right down your alley.
Oh, yes. Did we find a forge or something?
I point behind me.
Better than that, we found
Wow.
a forger. Well, a blacksmith of sorts, a spectral being.
Really?
Tasked us with something strange and unusual. I don't know. Would you call that a wash? Was that a win for us?
Oh, that'd certainly be a win. I mean,
I'd say
just,
so.
but
Holding up my newly forged battle axe.
You have a
And
great
warhammer?
axe. No, you didn't get to keep one of those. You had to all put them all away, and they've gone behind what looks like a very, very secure door to the west, leading west. It looks very, very secure though. There is another tunnel going east on the southern edge of this room, and you're sort of in that room where there's the forge and then the pit and then the weapons chesting area, training area.
Okay, I thought I managed to squeeze one out before the Spectre came, but if...
Well, you have this very nice great axe.
I
that you
do.
picked up on Thor.
Yeah, sure.
Tweek, you know your metals, I assume. Do you know what this is made of? It looked fancy to us.
Can I have a look? Let me have a look at this.
Yes. If you're proficient with Smith's tools, roll me a intelligence check with proficiency.
I am. With proficiency. So 24. I've got... It's a saving throw, sorry. 22.
It's the same as in saving throw. Yeah, it's the same maths. That is an adamantine great axe.
Adamantine. That's a very useful. Is it an alloy?
A man sign, I know it well. I rarely get to see it. And I touch the edge. How about this heavy crossbow here that we've got? And I'll pull that out from where we've got it. Heft it over.
It's basically larger than Tweek is. Or as large. It's like considered a large weapon, so it would be hard for Tweek to use.
Maybe I'll just hold it and say, is this special at all? Or is this just your garden variety heavy crossbow?
Let me take a look. It looks well built, I guess. Would I know?
It doesn't it looks fine, like a fine weapon. You don't notice anything like special, particularly different about it. It just looks like a fine weapon.
This crossbow has been forged by the gods, and it will bless any welder with tremendous abilities.
By the gods. And that thing let us walk away. Do I believe our little friend here?
We can make a deception check. Baracus, make an insight check.
You little shit, Fletch.
12.
Well, I rolled an 18 on that one, my little friend.
I'm full of shit.
You know Tweek is lying to you about this weapon.
Oh, it is a grand weapon. I can see what you mean. Who wants this gift from the gods?
I'm okay, thanks. But one thing I would say is maybe I could get my boa to start working again. This automatron has been through a lot, and if there is a skilled smith, are there any smith tools around or anything that can use this forge? I would very appreciate it.
I pull out a set of smith's tools. Something like this.
Yes.
I think we also found a few other sets of tools. I don't know if any of us could use them, but we did find some thieves' tools as well.
Thieves' tools as well. I guess I could make use of that.
Jewel maker's tools.
I can use leatherworks and smith tools.
Yeah. Dwarven Ruins, good place to find tools.
For sure.
And the forge is blazing. Is there any adamantine ingots anywhere I could see?
No, there's nothing like that you can see around. You could try to look for something secret, but so basically you've got this one. As you came in, there was a forge that was still lit up on your right on the western wall. There's a pit with a few bits of rusty scrap in there. You could try to forge something with enough time, but you'd have to melt it all down and try to spend some time doing so. But there are some rusty bits of scrap. It just looks like iron mostly. And then you've got this room below. There's a couple of anvils there in that room as well, and there's a forge that's not lit on the eastern wall. And then you've got a workshop table with the boxes are no longer there because they've been sent down behind this very secure looking door. You've got this little dummy, which there's a little dummy there. And I think there's a little pressure plate area as well.
4 of them, in fact. Yeah, we did mark them with a T.
Yeah, so you mark those spots off. And then down to the south, on the southern wall, there is a room. I don't know, the door's probably open now. You can see, there's a room beyond, and there's a tunnel going east.
I mean, this is a very good room for us. Perhaps we should set up a camp and we could barricade it and reinforce it. It could be part of our stronghold.
Well, it looked like it hadn't been used in years, hundreds maybe, not since the dwarves were here.
A little bit of TLC.
While you mull that over, Tweek, I'm glad you're back, buddy. For another reason, you've got our map, yeah? Can you wing that over?
I can, yes. I have
Uh,
calligrapher supplies as well. Do you want to alter the map in any way?
Well, probably won't need anything as special as calligrapher's tools. Maybe just mark. I'd like to mark. Well, unfurl it and have a look at it first. And does it look like I can? I mean, how visible are things on this map? Is it kind of rudimentary? Are there things that can I mark the water passage that we passed or the room?
It's extremely rudimentary and really only focused on one level for the most part. It doesn't really take note of any other levels. It's mostly focused on mushroom forest, big, and then like path to the to the sort of northwest is the chute. To the southwest is Oasis. To the northeast is Homestead. And like it also is like marks like Tiefling Quarter. It's got a little bit of a thing to the far north, saying something about Fallen Asima. That they're somewhere to the north because they're sort of known that they're somewhere. And then it's basically got like not much below to the south of the Mushroom Forest.
It's kind of main areas. So would there be any kind of place that I could put a marking for? Say the river that
The
we.
map.
Yeah.
I get calligraphy and cartography mixed up. But here we go.
Cartography. Okay.
And the other thing is, it does say like Oasis. It does sort of mark like dwarven ruins, but then like unsafe to the south.
I
Does
believe
the water kind of show on that map at all? It was quite
No,
significant
it doesn't.
waterway.
Like so, you sort of marked Padrak's farm
Yeah.
in like the where you thought it was in the Mushroom Forest, generally sort of center, but maybe a little bit east and a bit south. That was where you that's the way you were headed, and you thought you were about halfway through the forest.
Okay. My idea is
Did get
that
lost.
because we're kind of making some distance and we're heading towards a couple more tunnels, it'd be nice to kind of mark those main points that we remember, like the ravine, like just put down Blackwater Ravine or something, if we can see it on the map, or even like those certain rooms of note.
I mean, you could
But
try to do it. Like there is. It's not a big map, and it's not really with a lot of detail. You do have paper now, though.
probably won't be able to put the room in, but I think maybe the waterway. Just if we need to come back, we know to how to get back to the waterway.
Or maybe just start a new map. Like a more zoomed in map of what we've done.
Yeah, could probably do that on a short rest. Yep. Yeah.
I think yes, we could definitely do just this local area here. I think this looks like a place that we could definitely call home for the time being.
Seems like we're one of the few travelers in this area for a long time. It'd be good to mark things. Yeah.
You know, I don't know how well we're going to be able to integrate with other communities down here, and if we can carve out this section as our own, we could at least have leverage when we go to these communities, and we could trade and barter and have
Not
our
a bad
own
idea.
place. And we have a forge, we have doors and hollow bricks. I'll show them the 3 bricks that I got. We've got a chest, we've got a fresh water.
Just lacking food.
And we can find food, there's fresh water, I mean,
Oh, there were fish
You've
in
got-
that water.
and giant squids or octopus.
I was thinking the same. This is a pretty good found down here. magical forge or some such. Unless you guys got it going.
Definitely worth marking these kind of things. I think this is a fine camp. At least if we need to take a rest right now.
Thistle, when you came in, you didn't see a corresponding foot pedal to close this door, did you?
Not that I can remember.
Let's go have a check it out, see if we can block this door off easily. Might be a nice
It's the
place to
same
rest.
pedal. It's the same pedal on both sides. But it'll be hard to block off from the other side. Once you find the pedal, you just go through it.
Yeah.
Well, I still want to check it out and try and do something with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can effectively lock the door, but if someone finds that pedal, they can just open the door.
Yeah.
Well, let's break the pedal.
Well,
Or
move away those bodies as well a little bit. Maybe make it less enticing for people to come and investigate.
Well,
Yeah, that's a good idea.
goddamn carrion crawler was lying around. I think I heard him from the west. I know it's making noise again. But we scrambled down this way.
did you do you think your tracks that you left are kind of traceable, or were you able to?
I mean, our tracks, we haven't really been trying very hard. Yeah, our tracks are definitely visible.
So we've got to put something at that door. I think.
I don't know how well they can track, but I mean, they're just bottom feeders, aren't they? From my experience, we can just
Sounds
feed them the
like-
bones, and it could be like our pet. Garbage disposal.
Yeah, as long as that's all it is, not something else.
Well, just don't go sleeping next to it. That's all. I think it'll be okay. I think we could domesticate it in some fashion, and then we have our own disposal, dump. We could just throw our scraps to him. We'll be so grateful.
I mean, yeah, I reckon that we should take these bodies somewhere where he was probably looking for something like this. I don't know.
It's in the name. Carry on.
I know.
Maybe
I
put it,
told you about it.
down, or put them down one of the other halls. Send it down a different way.
Yeah.
I mean, if you would love want to do that, and I'll stay here. There's some distance ahead we have not covered, so I can I'll stay here, keep a watch, investigate a little down the tunnel, but not too far, and wait for your return.
Perfect.
So a magical forge, you say?
It's still hot. No one's been working it for years.
That does. Well, you make a good point. Yes. Are there any tracks that lead to this forge? I mean, it seems interesting that there'd be a forge, but no tracks to send the metal to the smith.
Well, there is a very heavy, sturdy, secure-looking door on the western wall down the southern side, as well as a secret one. It's almost like this is some sort of secret smith.
And on that note, I did roll a 20 just to perception check just around the room, off into the darkness a bit further as well. Just get a lay of the land.
Which room?
The room that we're currently in, because I do know that this is a bit of a larger room.
The meeting room outside the forge, or the forge.
Not the forge, not the room that.
Yeah, so you went back to the meeting room where there was the two bodies and you fought the armor. Yeah, you don't notice anything else. You guys have searched this room a lot, but you don't hear anything moving into this room right now.
Well, let's stick these bodies where you heard that carrion crawler potential crawler coming from. Maybe it'll just take this and bugger off.
Yeah, we'll just put them up over by the northern tunnels. It should be fine.
So I'd walk off with Candle and do that.
Yeah, he's just gonna go put them off by the northern tunnel, just by the entrance to it. They're still in the room, So I don't necessarily want to go too far if it's out there.
No, neither.
And this means you're only dragging them about 50 feet, so it's not very far.
I'm going to start melting some of that scrap metal down in the forge. See how this forge goes.
Yeah.
They've got some
Yes.
tongs, and is there like a kiln, like a one of those hot pots?
Yeah, I mean, I think that would all be part of your smith tools, like a little one of those and stuff like that.
Need some help there, Numbleton. I'd like to pick up a little bit of a blacksmithing skill, if possible. You can show me the ropes.
Well, yes, if you could find some molds, I could make some bars and stuff, and I can repair this this automatron.
Well, I can do that. You might need to make. Can you make them, if need be?
Well, I made this. I made Boa.
Yeah, so that's second option. I'll take a look around, see if there are any molds visible.
I just want to check in with Chuck and Thistle. Chuck, what have you been up to while everyone else is sort of inspecting the forge?
I am going to get one of my unseen servants to make lunch.
Okay, so everyone else is sort of getting distracted. You just sort of like slipping into the foreman's office.
Yeah, basically, find somewhere quiet, order cook to make us some lunch.
Yeah. Again, it's. I don't think you took any of the octopus with you, so it's really just like putting some rations out and like making it nice and neat, and like maybe like putting a napkin, tucking a napkin into like your shirt or
Roasting
your
some
jumpsuit.
nuts.
Yeah, basically. I mean, I don't think Chuck would eat octopus anyway.
Fair. And Thistle, what are you doing?
I'm doing like a general cleanup of the area since we're going to try and make this a base. Plus, as Callum and Kendall move the bodies, I'm going to give them their rights.
Yeah, you can do that. Like before, like, as they move their bodies, you can come with them and do that.
Yeah, I'll be doing that.
The forge itself isn't too bad. Compared to the other areas, there aren't really many bones here. Actually, it seems devoid of bones in general. It doesn't seem like any of the dwarves hid in here and died a secondary death or anything like that.
They died in battle with honor.
Yeah. And again, you guys none of you know a lot about dwarves. They're not common in the worlds you came from. So you're sort of discovering more about them. You did fight one, but that was, possibly one of the first dwarves most of you have ever seen. So yeah, you guys are sweeping out the room. You move the bodies. Is everyone just sort of coming back to the room after you move the bodies and read some rights?
Yeah.
Yes.
Lock up, and I suppose we still should have someone on watch just in case, but at least here we feel a bit more secure.
Yeah, you can go back in and you can close the door behind you. And you see Tweek and Baracus trying to work the forge. You're not sure where Chuck has gone, but perhaps there's some light coming from the foreman's office. Perhaps not.
What is there in the foreman office?
So there's the two now open safes in the wall where the armor and the shield were. There is a desk which has got a whole bunch of broken potion bottles in it now, because I think you took the other potions. I think you took the other things like the jeweler's tools. There was like a chain with like an emerald in it, and there was a magnifying glass. I think you guys took all that stuff. If not, it's still there.
Did you guys take that stuff?
I think we took some thieves' tools from there as well. But I didn't take much of the other stuff. I got the shield, that was about it.
And in the drawer, if no one took it, there is also there's like some sort of book. It looks like some sort of workbook in Dwarven, and just a couple of ink pots and some basic writing implements. A couple of ink pots, couple of pens. I don't know if anyone took that stuff.
Did anyone take
This'll
that
probably.
stuff?
I took
This'll-
a dwarven book, but I think this was a different thing. This was back a ways back.
There's one from the other room where you got attacked by all the animated stuff, and there's this one. They look very different.
Though I suppose if one was wanting to learn to read, read Dwarvish, having more sources is better.
This is true. And, you know, ink and pens. Yeah, like it's 2 little ink pots and 2 pens in here as well.
Yeah, I'll take those.
And I don't know who took the other 3 potions that were remaining that weren't broken.
I think Thistle had them at the moment.
I ransacked them.
Yeah.
I ransacked the cupboards and I just took everything, and I thought we can share it all out at the next opportunity that we get to group up.
And I think so. Baracus took the jeweler's tools. Did someone take the magnifying glass and the little silver pendant with the emerald gemstone? It's a bit broken though. Like the catch is broken. Did someone take those? I think if not, then the magnifying glass and the silver pendant is still there. You can play with them. You can take them. That's up to you.
I just shoved them in my backpack.
Okay.
I have some interest in calligraphy, so I'll take the pens and the pots as well.
Yep.
I do have calligraphy supplies if you're interested. Maybe they're best in your hands if you're skilled at calligraphy.
He's doing all this in private in the foreman's room. You're working the forge right now.
Yeah,
I
but
see
we
it
can have that
myself.
discussion afterwards.
I'll probably find a nice place to sit down and just kind of listen. I'd assume Callum probably would have visited many blacksmiths, so he probably somewhat enjoys the background noise. Just sits there and starts whittling that other shield that I was halfway through making.
Yeah, you can get working on it. You are all very tired. It has been a long day. You've taken a few short rests around the time, but you've done, you completed all various working and stuff yeah. So you are all ready for a long rest.
This is probably the warmest we've been as well since we've gotten down here.
It definitely is much warmer in this room. Like in the southern part of the room, it's not too warm, but in the northern part, it's quite warm. It gets cooler in the tunnel, but there's still a little bit of heat down there. It's still warmer than where you've been. It's easy to dry your clothes off and stuff near the forge.
Oh, that's right. Everyone except Tweek probably was drenched. Oh, and Thistle.
I aired my clothes out.
Some of us in
It
the
was-
heavier of armors didn't have that option, and I am drenched.
Yeah, I probably would have taken off my leather armor as well, because that'll get a bit musty if I don't.
Yeah, you can sort of hang it up all near the forge, and it'll all dry out. So now, Brackus has got 2 sets of armor potentially.
I say out loud, it is strange that nobody has made a community down here around an internal flame. Given that it is so cold, you'd think they would use this they could use it for power or, obviously heating.
Yeah, except that it was, guarded.
Yeah, well, I'd suspect if those guards were still there, like they were, no one's been here since it was in use last.
It looks
Well,
like
since
them 2
these,
fellas are about to figure it out, or at least.
There's been a few cave-ins, as we've seen. Not the most inviting place, but I'm sure this was a glorious place once upon a time.
Well, would those cave-ins potentially have just happened when this whole area was lifted up?
Potentially. You do make a good point.
Because this stonework, from what I've seen and heard, it looks like this stonework's actually really high quality. So, yeah, kind of makes sense, I guess.
Are earthquakes common in this realm? I know they can happen at any time, and the hell's not a good place to be, but a place such as this, or maybe indeed
Or would it be called turbulence?
Yeah, in the wider world, yes. In virtue itself, no. It's actually surprisingly smooth sailing.
Well, I think we should call this home. I think we should barricade ourselves here for a while, and then we can go on some skirmishing missions. and
I'm
catch
marking it on
resources.
the map if possible, and you can have the map here back, Tweek.
This place will put us in a huge advantage, and if we can find potentially a vein with adamantine in it, I think it comes out raw, maybe, or maybe if you mix certain elements together. I'm not exactly sure.
We did
Would I
find
know that?
a logbook. Well, what we thought was a logbook. Maybe he was recording where the sources were. I mean, we could, none of us could read it. It was written in Dwarvish, but if someone were to decipher it,
I could potentially decipher it. Yes.
But it would take time, or I don't know. For the time being, you cannot.
Just take a spell.
But yeah, so are you guys planning on taking a long rest, or like? I'm assuming this whole chatter is happening as you guys are preparing.
I am
A
definitely.
long rest would be good.
Yeah, I'm definitely down for one.
So there is like you could be close to the fire, very warm. Like Chuck seems to. You can hear Chuck sort of making noise in the foreman's office, but like he's sort of
And
closed the
sacking the
door
joint.
behind him. So like, if you go in there, you'll have to knock or open the door. He will notice. Unless he's
What
asleep.
sort of noises is he making there?
Just eating noises. I don't know. Anything else, Chuck? You making any particular noises? And maybe you hear the drawer opening and closing. Not particularly loud or anything. But yeah, you have the room. Obviously, you marked off the dummy and the pressure plate. There's not a lot of other spaces. Well, there's like enough that you can all find a patch to, like, bed down and not be in each other's like face.
Oh,
So,
and I guess opposite that ranged trap thing, there'd be like a massive pile of darts as well.
if no one's picked them up, yeah, there's 40 darts.
Oh, we could use those for. I mean, I could turn them into bolts, or I could start. Get them together. Let's bring them in.
Oh, if you are running out of bolts, we did find a few.
Yeah, you've got 3 cases full of bolts.
Oh, that's enough, I guess.
20 to a case. I thought Baracus took those because he took the heavy crossbow.
Are you, like, if we did this long rest, would you be fiddling around with your magic weapony stuff? Like, would you take away mine?
Yes. Well, unless you would like to keep it, I think we agreed that will be the most practical use.
Oh, no, I mean, it definitely works well for me, but just as well, if not better, for you, from what I understand.
Well, I can cast spells, and those spells tend to be quite powerful. I don't want to nerf your abilities, and if the sword is giving you decent ability, then I mean it's worth it keeping it.
We haven't yet come up against a creature that has vulnerabilities to such weapons, but it would be good to have someone in the front line with that weapon. It is a powerful one.
I think you should keep it then.
Yep, your call.
And I will perhaps work on something that could make better use out of our situation. Let me think about what I could make. Now I have a forge, it'll be easier.
Yeah, so mechanically speaking, you can do your artificer changes like during a long rest. If you want to actually make something using the forge, that will take significant time. Like a day plus of downtime, depending on what you're trying to make. Like at the moment, I'm happy for you to be like, yep, I put a pot of scrap in there just to melt. That's all you've done so far, and then you've basically and then you're basically getting ready to rest.
Yep, no, that's all I want to do, but I will get some artificer tools, so I'll work on that.
It's not a lot of scrap in there. Like I would say, maybe you've got 10 pounds of molten iron. Like there wasn't a huge amount of scrap.
That's fine. It's enough to fix my automatron.
Yeah, technically you don't need it because I think you already did most of the mending and stuff. So it mostly just got smothered by a rug, if I remember correctly. Although a lot of things happened to it.
Yeah, I think it got hit by a few armors and all those animated armors, and probably some of those animated. Oh, actually, I think it got hit by Baracus pretty hard
And
too.
a rusty longsword somewhere on the line.
Yeah, but I'm just sort of curious where everyone's like bunking up. Is like, so are any people in like the northern part, which is like the forge, or are you more in like the southern part, the weapons testing area? Where are you like rolling out your bedroll? Or are you going into the hallways? Are you setting up a watch? Where are they sort of prowling around?
I think it's a good idea to do a watch. Maybe if we just rotate every couple hours.
I'm happy to go first with the watch
Perfect.
while you guys all set up.
Well, wake me up in a couple hours. I'd kind of roll out I think I've just got a bit of that rug. It has a real rudimentary bedroll, and I just roll that out somewhat near the forge so it's nice and warm. And I'd probably take off a lot of my wet clothing, so I'm down to my knickers.
Maybe you're like over by the cold forge, so you're still like 30 feet away from the forge. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not glaringly hot.
Yeah, perfect. So, I mean, don't need a blanket because it's nice and warm.
Wake me
Practice
up when your watch is over. Going to set up camp near this workbench, near the fire. Air out my armor and put my back to a wall and take out the dwarven book and just try to get an understanding. Maybe be calling out to Tweek if I need help with some long phrases.
Well, none of you speak Dwarvish, and nor have ever seen it, really, except you maybe a couple of characters. So I'll get you to make an intelligence check with disadvantage.
Fine.
And even if you get double nat 20s, you don't immediately speak Dwarvish. You are partly, you have a rudimentary understanding.
Never that. So just straight int.
Yeah, with disadvantage. 10. Okay, so this is the book from the stone chest, right?
This was the earliest dwarven book we picked up. Yes,
Definitely appears to be some sort of diary. Definitely seems to be referencing like rituals, diagrams. It does mention like, again, you wouldn't really know what it mentioned. Yeah, like there's ritual. Yeah, but you can tell that there's mention of rituals and diagrams and some basic schematics of constructs and stuff like that. But yeah, you can tell that there are other constructs that you haven't, like there are animated armor which is a little bit more advanced. It's not one, they're not all the same. Like there seems to be an advanced model. You can tell that there might be other animated things as well.
Almost like at this stage, almost like a textbook, a workbook of sorts.
Yeah, well, it's just that you're mostly looking for pictures. You
Yeah,
basically see like, yeah,
front to cover, looking through pictures, and then I'll keep reading it over and over again. Doing that.
Okay, and so you're by the workbench. Tweek, where are you sort of getting ready to rest?
Near the forge, I am going to craft my armor, and it'll be a +1 armor.
Okay. How close to the forge are you going to be?
I mean, not dangerously close, just close enough to get some of its warmth throughout the night.
Or maybe you're just like sort of sleeping on an anvil in the middle of the room, which is like on a rusty anvil, which is like probably about 20 feet away.
That sounds good.
It's good for your back, I suppose, if you can handle it.
I've been working on my armor, and I've also got a bag of holding I'm sort of tinkering with. Should help us.
Okay, so I believe you can only have 2 active things at a time. You know 4, but you can have 2 actives at this point.
In that case, I'll just have the bag of holding and the +1 scimitar.
Yep, and then you might lose something that you have been using. I'm not sure what you had.
I didn't have anything.
Oh, okay, so you're setting up your second one now. Cool. And Thistle, where are you sort of doing your watch from? So you've got sort of Tweek and Callum in the northern part of the room, Barakas in the southern part of the room, people avoiding the trappy testing areas, and you've got Chuck in the southern room lot, which is close the door. You have this tunnel going north that you originally came in, and another tunnel going east, which goes for a little bit. I think, did you ever go down? Did anyone explore that tunnel, or is it just a tunnel going east for now?
I think
Did I ever explore it when I was in my spider form?
I think you poked your head down there a little bit.
It goes east for a little bit and eventually goes north. You can see it veering left.
Well, I don't think the group would be happy if I took off to go start inspecting new areas. So I'm thinking maybe somewhere like an in between where Barakas and Callum and Tweek are. So I can kind of keep an eye on them three, and then I can kind of keep an eye on the door where Chuck's in.
Yeah, that's sort of near. There is a pit there, like which is now been emptied of scrap, which is sitting in a bucket, or mostly emptied of scrap.
Well, maybe while I'm on watch, I might just start cleaning that up.
Sure.
So yeah, I'll be doing that while
Yeah, the
everyone's
forge is
resting.
quite hot. Are you sort of staying away from the forge, not sort of getting too hot, too baked by it?
Not too baked. I mean, it doesn't really interest me. So I'm just focusing on channeling my mother hen and do some housekeeping while keeping an eye out so nobody gets attacked or whatnot.
Cool.
I'm going to say to Callum as well that you better keep me alive, because if I go down, the infusion vanishes on your item.
Oh, I wasn't intending on letting anyone here die.
I've already died like a handful of times on this adventure.
It's unconscious.
We're on the brink once or twice, but you haven't died yet.
And what do you tell the group about the bricks and everything?
Oh yeah, I have this brick that you can put things in. I mean, once we got our home set up here, we could use these bricks as a little hidey hole, and we can stash some things in there. I found some scrolls as well. I found the knock spell, which is very useful, and 3 other spells which I can't quite remember.
Fabricate and
Oh yes, fabricate. Yes, I've written that down. Fabricate. Wish.
I have a feeling that it was closer to non-detection.
Non-detection. Yes, that's it. I'm not quite sure what this last one is, though.
Well, don't look at me for that. I'm not much of the magic type. Maybe Chuck might be able to give you a hand.
It would have to be someone trained in Arcana. I don't know if anyone else is.
Yeah, I'm really not. Chuck is more like a superhero than a magician. His powers come naturally. He hasn't really studied magic as such.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, all I've done is seen you doing magic, so I wouldn't know that too much.
But I believe you could cast Identify on them.
I mean, that assumes I have identify.
Oh, I'm not. This is directed towards the group. Other people might have it.
Right, yes, fair enough. Can I also get my other 2 unseen servants to start prepping the room for habitation? If we're gonna make this a base, then I guess we need somewhere to live, right?
Yeah, you would have heard the group sort of talking about that from the door, through the door, I suppose. Yeah. So, what are you doing? You've got it's really just a desk and a chair and a couple of open safes. There's not a whole lot else. I mean, what are you having them do?
I mean, I assume we're just gonna be sleeping in here using our bedrolls and things. So it's more about clearing out an area, laying out the bedrolls, and maybe putting a fire in the middle of the room, kind of thing.
I think you could have a proper fire in the middle of the room, but it is warmer here because of the proximity of the forge. It is still warmer in this room than it has been most of the way. If you wanted to dry your clothes and stuff, you'd probably have to go out and hang them up by the forge, or hang them up somewhere, but they probably would dry. Yeah, you can sort of clear out a little space. just sort of moving the desk around a little bit maybe, and just, yeah. You can roll your bedroll out. That's easy enough. And you can have them clear it, like you can have them sort of tidy the area.
Cool. Yeah, that's what I'll get Jarvis and Niles to do.
I mean, yeah, theoretically, you could have them undress you and hang up your clothes and all that sort of stuff.
I think that's assumed.
Yeah, they sort of just hang it up on like the back of the chair and the table and as best they can on the door handle. What's a jumpsuit? So the jumpsuit would go over the back of the chair, and you probably have like some boots, like some shoes and stuff that they hang up like on the door handle.
Are the safes still working, or like are they like?
They're open now, and they look like they would be hard to lock without the key, which you cannot find.
Right. Okay.
When they were unlocked, a ghostly keyring appeared in Jerkin's hand, and then it just disappeared with him.
Fair enough.
But yeah, so Thistle, give me a perception check.
Alright, perception check for Thistle.
I've got my bedroll out, by the way. I'm sleeping on that, and
Yep.
my steel defender is guarding me.
Your goblin-sized bread roll. Maybe it's a little bit mushroom, a little bit moldy, but not too bad.
That's a 24 for perception.
Yeah, like the flames are nice and warm. Like, yeah, you could stare at the flames for a little bit, but there's other things to look out for. But like, you don't hear anything. You don't notice anything weird in the room. It seems like you're private for now.
That's good. Means that we can. It means that we're safe.
Yeah.
So, I guess when my time's up, I go over to Callum and I shake his shoulder.
Yeah, you can do that.
Your turn, buddy.
Yeah, great. Oh, well, that was better sleep than I've had in a bit.
It's better than nothing.
Good point.
At least you can sleep.
Yeah. Oh, well, you try and do what you do, I suppose.
Oh, well.
I'll probably wander over towards the entrance to the area and plonk myself down just around the corner to that hallway, just so I can hear anything coming up.
Yeah, that's not far from where you were resting anyway.
Yeah.
Tweek's nearby.
And then I'll probably continue whittling down that shield.
Yeah. Thistle, you go, like, you were sort of not far, you were sort of in this northern area too. Are you going to claim a different spot, or are you just going to hang out nearby?
Hang out nearby.
Okay. So everyone's just leaving Baracus alone in the southern bit and Callum in the very southern bit. Cool.
Well, I can still keep an eye on them from where I am. I'm just chilling.
No
So-
one can see what Chuck is doing, but from time you can hear, like, if you would have heard little bits of noise coming from the room, but he's sort of intentionally keeping to himself. Being very teenagery.
Is there now
Yeah.
like a sign on the door saying "No parents allowed"?
Toxic, get out.
Is there like a consistent slapping sound coming from the room?
Oh, that's terrible.
Don't make it gross.
That kind of podcast. Okay, cool. Give me a perception check, Laurie.
22.
Okay. You do notice just a little bit of noise coming from beyond the room, but doesn't sound. Yeah, you're not sure what it is.
I might
But
try.
yeah, there was a bit of noise.
When I hear that, I might try quietly going up towards the door and just maybe put my ear to it to kind of see if it sounded like those carrion crawlers from before.
Okay. It sort of builds up. It starts quiet and it builds up, and then all of a sudden you can hear voices calling out. But they're they don't seem all there as you get close to it. And then under the crack in the thing, you can see light beyond the room. It's sort of ethereal light. And then you can hear the sounds of battle coming from beyond. It's not full battle volume, it sounds subdued. but there's definitely something happening in the room beyond.
And this door, when opened, it just opens all the way, doesn't it?
Yeah, it just slides open. Or you can no, that's just the lock, and you can control how much you slide it open.
How quiet was it?
It was like stone rolling on stone, so like not quiet, but not ridiculously noisy.
It's just a big decision. I probably won't open up, but
What languages do you speak again?
let me check. Common, Celestial, Gnomish, and Primordial.
Yeah, you can't understand what they're saying. It's two languages you don't recognize. Or give me an intelligence check to see if you might recognize something.
12.
Okay. It does seem to be some goblin, but you don't know goblin, but you recognize it from your time out in the ring.
Yeah, I might. If I recognize it as Goblin, I might just go over towards Tweek and just nudge him and just. I can hear something outside. I thought it sounded goblinish, so maybe you want to translate quickly, and head back to sleep.
Yes, I can. Goblinish, you say?
Yeah, It sounds like there's activity in the main area outside. I just didn't want to crack the door.
I will sneak up to the door and put my big giant ear on the door, and I'll listen into the conversation.
So you go put your ear to the door, and you hear various battle cries like "Death to the fat ones!" and "Let's take this place and make it ours!" and lots of stuff like that. Various battle cries. And it does sound like there's some sort of melee happening beyond.
Well, the goblins want this place to themselves. Bloody goblins. Maybe we should barricade this door. They can't have it. This is our place. We're here first. I whisper.
Yeah, we can't let them take it.
We need to guard this forge as best we can.
Well, you go get another.
Maybe let's. They're fighting somebody out there. They said death to the fat ones. And I don't know who they're referring to. But
Well, all of a sudden, it starts getting quieter and quieter, and the little bits of light you can see become less and less.
yes, let's let them punch themselves out. And when they're coming through, we'll capture them.
And after probably like 2-3 minutes, you can't hear anything anymore.
I will call out in Goblin. This is a hidden room, isn't it? No one, they wouldn't see the entrance to this room. Or it's not that hidden.
I think it was basically hidden. Like, we didn't see it until we approached and fought some guys over here.
And so you'd be awake, you would be hearing this conversation as well. You're right near them
Yep.
as well, so you're like very close to this conversation.
My first thought is try and trip the door so they can't open it.
Okay, let's open the door.
You're opening
Yeah.
the door?
Not opening, we just want to trip it so they can't get in. Or
You can't really see any way to do that.
That's alright. Well, let's just wait for them to come in.
I'll just keep an eye on it. You guys go back, get some more rest. Tweek, I'll wake you up when my watch is done.
Again, like from the first noises to when it all died down was maybe a little under 5 minutes. So you can't hear anything anymore.
Maybe there was like it was a draw in the battle.
They've gone home for lunch.
Perhaps. I think we're safe here. For now.
You guys go back to sleep? Or Tweek?
Yes, I will.
Okay. You go back to sleep. And the rest of the watch passes uneventfully. Who do you wake up?
I'll probably wake up Brackus next. Let Tweek get a bit more solid sleep.
Yeah.
Because I did just wake him up.
Oh, that sleeper.
Ah, good. Well, we heard some activity out there. I woke Tweek up because it sounded like goblins, but it sounds like they've gone. So just keep an eye on it.
Can do. All right.
See you in a couple hours.
See ya.
Yeah, give me a perception check for your watch.
I will do my rounds. So I'll just basically be walking circles, be trying to be quiet, given that information. I think that is a 10.
10? You don't notice anything, like above the snoring of your companions. Everyone is very tired, and I imagine there'd be a couple of snorers, at least light snorers. I could see Callum, like as like a dad being a bit of a snorer, and Tweek just as a bit of an old man being a bit of a snorer.
He's got one of those. Me.
Yeah.
But, well, if my clothing is somewhat dry, I'm going to be kind of starting to put my armor on, keeping an eye on that door, keep running circles around this room.
Yep.
But
Yep.
every so often kind of moseying on to that door and trying to see as best I can.
Yeah, as I say, you've still got this unexplored tunnel leading west and then north, and the tunnel you came in north. You're just keeping an eye on those.
Yeah, so that's actually, I was wondering about that. So that tunnel isn't behind us, but behind the door. So that would have, when I rolled that perception check before, it was kind of off into there. Not going too far into it, but kind of, it is an unexplored area, so I'll be kind of paying attention to that.
Yeah, no, there's no sound or anything coming from it. It's just going east and then north. It obviously becomes much colder once you enter that tunnel a little bit, but just still warmer than many of the places you have been.
In the quiet times, I'll get out that book again and keep running
Yep.
circles with it and try my best.
Yep, you've already done your check for the night, so I think that's all good.
Yep.
But yeah, otherwise your watch passes uneventfully.
Kick Tweek up again, buddy.
Why do you keep interrupting my sleep?
Because we all got jobs to do, and yours has just started.
Okay then. You know, I do have an automaton now that looks out for us, right? It doesn't sleep. And I mean, she doesn't sleep either. According to Thistle.
You point to Thistle, who's like very much just awake.
Why don't you
Right.
just let her just do all the watches? She's not like she needs sleep or anything.
Come on, Slacker.
But your Steel Defender is broken right now. Well, you mended it, but it can't move on its own under its own power because it has no magic right now.
And Gizmo's
Sure you,
exceptional.
Sure you heard about the door? Something going on behind there, and just keep an eye on it. I think it's stopped now.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna keep my eye open.
Okay. Give me a perception check.
Perception. 11.
Yeah, you don't notice anything in particular. At some point, Chuck would start to wake up. I would say Candle probably actually just rolled out his thing over by
I
that
hear a
eastern
noise?
tunnel. I never really cover that. No, you don't really hear a noise unless Chuck makes one as he wakes up.
Yes. What do you mean? Do I make?
Would
a
you be
noise when I wake
making
up?
Would you be making much noise from your office room as you wake up?
Probably not.
Yeah. Would you like turn a light on or anything like that?
Yeah, I'd definitely turn a light on.
So you would,
Fireball.
yeah. So you would see a light coming from the office as Chuck wakes up, but you don't notice anything from either of the entrances/exits.
Okay. Then we'll go into Chuck's room.
You do go into Chuck's room.
Yes.
Okay. Are you knocking or are you just going in?
Just going in.
Okay. Chuck, what do you do as you hear the door open to your office opening?
I'm tempted to shoot a firebolt at it.
Don't come into my room. Just
Yeah,
firebolt
that's
the wall.
pretty much what I would say. It's rude.
Okay. Tweek, what do you do?
This looks like a great room. Can I stay with you?
Is this like the middle of the night?
It's well, you finish your sleep. You're now it's the early morning, in fact.
Oh, okay. And they all decided to sleep outside.
Yeah.
Okay.
You claimed the room and you closed the door. No one disturbed you for like 7 hours.
Oh, well, that was handy. Yeah, sure. I mean, I prepared the room for everyone, not necessarily for myself.
Well, they've been in the forge room, which is actually a little bit warmer. Yours has got a little bit more privacy.
Yeah, I like the privacy. It also allows my unseen servants to work.
Yeah, they can't do anything now. So yeah, Tweek, sounds like you're welcome in this room, Tweek.
Great. I'll get my my bedroll and I'll lay it down on the floor and snuggle next to Chuck. Chuck, you're up. I'm gonna go get the last few hours of sleep in, and yeah.
Chuck,
I'll go outside.
you don't know that that's not true, so
Yeah, I know. So I'll go outside and keep watch.
cool. And I think that's a good place to end on a bit of an anticlimactic note, but you guys finish your long rest. You guys can recover your health, your spell slots, your abilities, one hit dice each. And that's where we'll break for this episode, and we'll come in next time, see what lies next. But it sounds like you might have a new, at least temporary home, maybe permanent, who knows. That's it for this episode of the High or Lows podcast. If you'd like to get in touch, you can find us on Twitter at High or Lows with underscores between the words, or you can find me at Feepster.
Thanks for listening to this episode. If you enjoyed listening, please leave us a 5-star rating and review, which is one of the best ways you can support us. You can also join the discussion on our Reddit and Facebook pages, or even our Discord server, and maybe play some games with us. Links can be found in the description below. Special thanks to Sirenscape for the background audio and Alex McPherson for providing the opening theme. I hope you can all join us next time as we continue on our adventure.